12.4, angle measurements. Two properties in 12.4. Basically, if we have two chords that intersect inside of a circle, or they can be secants, but if they cross inside of a circle, if we want to figure out what the angle is, it's always going to be the two arcs added together, because that's the sum, and then divide by 2. Half the sum of the arcs, because these two angles will be congruent. So we have to figure out the distance in between our two endpoints on our circle. Now, if we have the angle on the outside of the circle, angle on the outside, and we have a secant, basically meaning it goes and touches the circle. We have our two arcs still. In all of these pictures, we still have our two arcs. However, when the angle's on the outside of the circle, we're going to take half of the difference. Difference means subtract. So it's always going to be my larger arc minus my smaller arc divided by 2. So that's basically the two properties we have to know. So the first question you should always ask yourself is on the inside or outside, because that will tell you if you should add or subtract. The first one, again, first question, is it on the inside or outside? This is on the inside. Inside means sum. So my x is going to be equal to my two angles, or my two arcs. So the two arcs that we have here are in between these 2 points, so the 165. And then my opposite angle that I'm dealing with in between these 2 points, so that's going to be the 87. So it's the two arcs added together, divide by 2, which would give me 126 degrees. So now on the second picture, is that inside or outside? My angle formed here is on the outside. Now this one's a little bit different. I'm looking for my arc. So when I set up my equation, it's still going to be this angle is what I'm looking for. And again, since on the outside, subtracting. So it's my larger arc minus my smaller arc. This whole thing divided by 2 is going to be equal to my angle. Again, the two arcs, the larger arc minus the smaller arc divided by 2 is equal to the angle in the picture. So now I have to solve this. So first I'm going to times 2 on both sides of my equation, because that's going to get rid of this 2 on this side. So I'm going to have 98 minus y is going to be equal to 44. And then I have to get rid of this 98, and it shows positive, so the opposite of positive is going to be subtraction. So I'm going to have to keep this negative sign with my y, and negative y is going to be equal to negative 54. So now, last step, I want to get rid of this negative 1 times y, so divide by negative 1. Y is going to be equal to 54 degrees. Again, inside add, outside subtract. Word. Here's a word problem. First, right now, pause the video and read it out loud. Here's my beautiful picture that I drew in representation of this word problem. The viewing angle from the spacecraft is 18 degrees. It's asking what's the arc of the moon that you can see. However, if you look at this picture, I do not have everything I need. Yes, I do, because from this point to this point, I also have a measurement. If this red arc is x, that means the green arc has to be 360 minus x, because a full circle is 360. Now, my question, first question, inside or outside? The angle here is on the outside of the circle. So I'm going to have the angle is equal to my larger arc, 360 minus x, subtract my smaller arc, which is just x. That whole thing has to be divided by 2. So if I look at this problem, I'm going to solve this like the same way I did before. I'm going to times 2 on both sides of the equation. So I'm going to have 36 is going to be equal to 360. Now I have like terms here. I have a negative x here, and I have a negative x here. So I'm going to actually write minus 2x, because I have two negative x's. Now my second thing I'm going to do is I have to get rid of this 360. So I'm going to subtract 360, because that's the opposite of a positive. And now I get negative 324 is equal to my negative 2x. This subtraction has to stay with. And then I divide by negative 2 on both sides, and I would get x is equal to 162 degrees. So the people in the spacecraft can see 162 degrees arc of the moon. That's all I got for you, folks. Have a great day.